we will move customers from an alpha state to a beta state, to a beta state to a theta state.
Could you elaborate on that, please?
Sure. So a alpha customer is someone to whom you don't need to sell the concept of innovation.
Okay.
This person is naturally curious, except that, if I go and tell somebody today that, hey, you know what, you can transform, I can attend a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old. In the next 4 years, you can become the Sachin Tendulkar if you follow a certain discipline path. And the person is so passionate that they will do it. They don't need to be persuaded. This is not a dream. So if it's a dream, it does not have any associated metrics with it.
Yeah.
But if it is an aspiration, yeah, I have to be this in 4 years.
Goals are set.
Right. So now there is a very clear metric that has been associated. The time metric is associated with it. The quality metric is, what are the repertoire, what are the strokes that a Sachin Tendulkar had? What is the repertoire that a Prakash Padukone had in badminton? So it's basically associating very specific metrics along the way. And then when you see that, you will know. You played a square drive. In 3 months, you moved from, in tennis, you moved from 30 kilometers to 90 kilometers. It's a significant shift.
Right.
At the little league level, at the level of the Gen A and the Gen Z, unless you become that elite athlete, nobody is covering you. Okay? Even your coach is talking from thin air.
Yeah.
He doesn't have data. Your master classes that you spend money on, if you have the ability to spend money, it's an abstract.
Yeah.
It doesn't relate to you. It is not contextual to you. When they experience that, these alpha customers basically say that the beta state, it essentially is how the platform or the product is melding to your requirements.
Okay.
And that melding, when it does, and you experience this actual growth, you go to people that you know and you say, hey, and it becomes apparent as well. There is a scorecard so now today you are playing, in your school. Tomorrow you are in the under 19 team for your state or India. And how did this happen? There was a connected ecosystem. Each match was being covered and the data was getting in. And instead of not being recognized, okay, there is a state association, there is a federation that is spotting your talent. You may be anywhere in the world, but now without you having to canvas for it, the system is basically making that data available to the stakeholders and the shareholders and the people who make decisions to basically recruit you into a club team, into a state team, into a franchise.
So it's kind of like a personal manager.
Exactly. So you talked about, in this case, you actually taking, you would have an agent.
Yeah.
Right? It's just taking that middleman out.
Yeah.
There is a role for an agent. The role for the agent is basically to negotiate on your behalf.
Yeah.
To see and try and say that if there are a plethora of roles, rejecting something, managing that the PR and trying to say, listen, you're a great director, I want to work with you. Oh, you're a great team, I want to be with you, right? But right now my needs are different or my client's needs are different and this is a project I have. That is something you still need the human intervention to do.
Right.
So we are not taking away the jobs of people. We're just reframing it in the way in which they become relevant. So every person in this ecosystem is able to see a transformative, growth-oriented journey, physically visible with real performance measures that is measured in real time.
It's like a clear graph.
It's a very clear graph. It's not just a graph, it's an actual representation of data that determines your growth.
Wow.
And that demonstrates your growth. So this progression is something that we do through the 5 C's, as we call it: creation of data, connection to the ecosystem, the curation of that ecosystem in your relevance, and then the contextualization to your preferences.
Right.
A simple thing is, your preference can be that I have this budget, I cannot go more than 100 meters from my home for a practice. So I need to be able to give you those 5 things.
Okay.
The data, the talent, which is a coach's talent, trainer's talent, an infrastructure, the money, the funds. If you do not have a fund, okay, can we figure someone who is actually there are, and and the material. If you don't have, if today there is so much of endorsement, so only elite athletes endorse, okay, but how can a young athlete endorse a product? As a last example, I'd like to share this. We are getting into a business partnership with a OTT platform.
Oh wow.
So today, what you understand, OTT mostly, being playing out elite games. Little leagues are not covered.
Yeah.
So we, in each of the sports, we will bring that little league. There is a following out there. So it is both the B2C and the B2B that we are engaging right now. From the B2B perspective, the startups, the SMEs, right? They don't have the budgets of a Fortune 500 company.
Yeah.
Who essentially advertise on TV and so they have the budgets.
Yeah.
So now these people are getting an opportunity to reach their choice audience, because only when you reach them will they actually fund for promotion and advertisements on OTT platform.
Sure.
So this is what we bring, that the platform is a very powerful ecosystem connector, and what it does is for the athletes also to shine and to be seen, not just at an elite level, but at the level that they are playing. That might be a club game, that might be a school game, that might be so every game in your life is covered.
Wow.
So you're getting more opportunities. And if I extend that, it's the same thing for an artist. It may be for a dancer. Every little performance is covered. So you don't have to depend on the number of likes and the number of on Facebook that you post.
Right.
This is going beyond that. This is going to real people who can give you an opportunity to perform. Be it sports, be it music, be it dance, be it again any sphere of life.
Yeah. What's the difference between this and maybe an Instagram where an artist puts out their work and someone sees it and gives them an opportunity from that?
So that is more spray and pray.
Okay.
You're putting it out there and you're praying that somebody of relevance, okay, actually notices it.
Right.
Okay. More often than not, you don't notice it.
Yeah.
Here, the risk assurance we talk about is higher.
Right.
Because the system is connecting contextually, not just curating,
Right.
but actually is then looking at it and saying which is the most relevant. So it's going deeper and deeper by itself and creating the right connections for you to collaborate.
Okay.
So it's very different from what you have as a conventional social media today. That is one thing. The second most important thing is in social media, they do not cater to the individual, they cater to a corporation. Their business models are structured for addressing the corporation. Our business model is structured to cater to the individual in the first instance.
Okay.
We perhaps will be the first enterprise in the world where the customer, be it an individual or an enterprise, will own their data that they create.
Wow.
And they will share and collaborate their data, okay, with their ecosystem based on their personalization and their preference, not on the product life cycles of enterprises.
Okay.
It's a fundamental shift.
Okay.
And this is the significance of moving from a financial ecosystem into a human ecosystem.